David Walliams, it is such a pleasure to chat to you today.
Well, thank you so much. It's nice to talk to you.
We are so excited that Awful Auntie's coming to the Gaiety in September. I know you've seen your books come to life before, but how amazing is it to see what you put to the stories you put to paper are actually coming to life on a stage?
It's brilliant because when you write a book, the only limit's your imagination. And in fact, when you're writing books for children, I think they should be as imaginative as possible. So this is a very ambitious story to put on the stage. There's a giant owl that picks up a child. There is a car chase, an old Rolls Royce. There's a ghost. There's a country house, and I think that what's amazing about this production is it manages to do all of that. And there's something about, I know it sounds a bit pretentious, but the magic of theatre, in that it's not real, but actually you enjoy watching the creativity of the director, the cast, the designer, and everything in bringing it to life. So yeah, I'm really, really pleased with the production, and I'm glad so many people are getting to see it, especially people in Dublin,
Well, I
which
love.
is a city I love.
Are you going to come and check it out sometime soon?
Well, I'd like to, but I'm actually going to be in Australia when the show is in Dublin. So as much as I'd like to fly back for an afternoon, I can't. But yeah, I've worked in Dublin quite a lot, and I did a play with Michael Gambon, um, and and we were there for like at least a couple of months, and I loved it. I loved it, and I've been back many times to do book signings and things. Whenever the publishers say, "Oh, would you like to go back to Dublin?" It's like, yes.
How
Um,
how
Amazing
cool?
restaurants, amazing
Yeah.
hotels. The city is beautiful. The people are mainly friendly. Uh,
I hear. Have you had a not so friendly run in here?
Only one, but it can't be repeated on the radio. I was walking across the bridge and just someone said something a little offensive, but it was so quick that it was like, but it involves a swear word that it was almost like it happened in like a second. And I was like, whoa. But there's rude people everywhere in the world. So I'm not pointing the finger at
Exactly.
anyone who lives in Dublin.
But do you know what? So many people are excited that you're coming here. And what I love is that the little people in my life are so excited about what you bring them. Like when I told them I was chatting to you, it was the most excitement I've had in such a long time. They all love your books. I love that you're introducing them to the theatre as well. A lot of them haven't gone to the theatre before. And I asked them, what question do you have for David? And it's so funny when you put them on the spot, they all get really nervous. But the one that they all had was, can you just ask him what his favourite book is that he's written? Do you have a favourite?
Well, I'll have to say awful auntie. Well, the thing is, you want to believe, maybe mistakenly, but you want to believe your books are getting better and better as you
Yeah.
go along. Because if your latest book, you're looking at it and it's like, oh, it's not as good as my first one. It's sort of it's a bit disappointing. So I'm excited about the new one I've written, but which is a murder mystery. But Awful Auntie will always be special because I think the villain of Awful Auntie, Aunt Alberta, is a good character, and she hopefully, well, I believe she's as funny as she is scary. And that's what I think you want a lot of good villains to be,
Yeah.
especially in a story for kids, because you don't really want them to be absolutely monstrously evil and terrifying. And so she is a monster, and she's trying to bump off her niece Stella, but at the same time she's faintly ludicrous as well. So that I felt like I had a lot of fun creating that character.
I love that you've said that you love writing, you can write anywhere, but I want to know, how do you get inspiration in a Venetian jail cell? And what were you doing in there in the first place?
Well, I accidentally traveled all the way to Italy on my old passport, and it wasn't spotted I just picked up the wrong passport, and it wasn't spotted when I left the UK. So when I got there, they sort of really, I think they're kind of looking for people that, you know, they were quite excited that I'd done something wrong, and they were like, you know, strong arm me as if I was some kind of like major drugs criminal or
You
something
were
like
on the
that.
Interpol list.
Yeah, yeah. And so, you know, there's lots of pleading. What if, you know, someone could fly up the passport? No, 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 we're putting you on the next flight back to London. And I was like, okay, when's that? 7 hours time. I was like, oh, blimey. And so anyway, they put me in this jail cell, and then I still had I was allowed to keep my computer. So I just thought, oh great, I mean, what can you do? You're locked up in, well, I don't know. I've never been locked up in a jail cell before, but I thought I might as well use the time wisely.
You're
And
fab.
so I was writing my book. And then so when they said, oh, you leave now, I was like, oh, I'm a bit disappointed. I haven't quite finished the chapter. Do you mind if I stay a bit longer? But I think it sort of, I wasn't sharing the cell with anybody, and I think maybe if I was, I wouldn't be doing that. But it just shows that actually what you need most of all to write is to be on your own.
Yeah.
In my case, it was solitary confinement, but it's, you know, because people are always intrigued about Roald Dahl and his shed, and you know, it's like the perfect kind of,
You've one-upped him.
it adds to the magic of Roald
Yeah.
Dahl, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So he had a shed, and I had an Italian prison cell,
That's
which was
fab.
the best I found was the best place to write. So now every time I go to Italy, I take my old passport, and, and you know, in those hours, I write a new story.
Throw me in jail. I'm bringing it back to Awful Auntie for a sec, because one of the themes is the power of friendship, and I can't help but think of the friendship that you have with Matt Lucas. And
Mm,
I love that you guys are working on a new show. So of course I'm going to
mm.
ask how that's going. But I want to know, what is it that each of you bring out in each other that you don't find in any other friendship?
We bring out the worst in each other. I think that's what it is. No, I think we like to laugh together. I mean, we came together in the first place because we were fans of comedy. So we met when I was about 19, 20, and he was about 18, I think. And he is younger than me. And he's very faced. And so we were just fans of comedy, and we both watched Vic Reeves' Big Night Out. It was a big show at the time, but it was still quite culty, and some people it sort of baffled a bit because it was very surreal. So we were just quoting all that to each other, and we were just kind of giddy on the fact that we both liked comedy, and so we liked nothing more than watching comedy. And then it was like, oh, maybe we can make some comedy together, you know, and then that was the stepping point. So it was quite good that we were just fans, you know. We didn't
Yeah.
think we would have careers. We just were fans. I mean, we hoped to become actors or something, but we didn't know that we'd go down that path at that moment in time. So I think it's good to sort of remain fans and remain, you know, keep that excitement. And then the fun thing is when you're sat around a table, you know, with somebody, you know, 8 hours a day for 5 days a week, you know, it's you want to be able to make each other laugh, you
Yeah.
know. And also there's things that we include, obviously, that, you know, like fine, but sometimes we have fun thinking about something really shocking that obviously we couldn't put on the television, and that's as fun as possible. But I think a lot of comedy writers do that, you know,
Yeah.
because they like to kind of shock each other a bit.
And that's what we all want to see, but obviously we can't. But, you know, it is almost 30 years since you, like 1995, was it? You took to the Edinburgh stage.
That's
When
right.
when the two of you took to that stage, what did you think success would be? Like, what was your hope that you'd get to? And did you ever think the two of you would hit these heights?
Well, I just thought it was sort of one stage at a time, isn't it? You think, can we sell some tickets for people to come and see us? They don't know who
Yeah.
we are. The Edinburgh Fringe Festival, and then it's like, can we get a radio pilot on Radio 4? And then can we get a series on Radio 4? And then can it transfer to television? You're not really thinking, you know, like 10 years ahead or anything like that. You're just thinking what the next stage is. And you see your heroes, you know, on television, and we've been watching, obviously, you know, that, I don't know, I started off watching things like Are You Being Served and stuff. So I always thought, wow, that would be amazing to be in that position. But I had no idea how you get there. And for us, it was very incremental. So you're just thinking about what the next you know, what the next thing is. But no, I never really, I don't know, because at any level it's exciting. You know, playing a room above a pub and making people laugh, which is where we sort of started. That's really fun. Making people laugh, you know, whether it's two people, which was the first gig, or it's, you know, without when you're playing an arena or something, it might be like 10,000 people. It's still quite exciting. I mean, it's a bit nicer playing to 10,000 people because it's a bit more, you know, it's a bit more surreal and everything, but
Yeah.
it's just nice. And it just, you know, everything happens. I mean, I never thought I'd be writing children's books. Not, you know, I was kind of first, I thought, oh, all right, you know, I'll write one, and, you know, that'd be a nice thing to put on my shelf and give people when they come around. Go, oh, did you know I wrote a children's book? And then that took off. So it's weird how it works. And I'm not sure you can really plan a career.
Yeah.
You might think you can. I mean, but I don't know. We definitely didn't. We had our heroes, and I suppose that's what we were aspiring to be like.
And finally, there's a line that you've written that says, believing in yourself is the first step towards achieving greatness. When it comes to chasing our
When did
dream,
I say that?
it's in one of the books that you've
That sounds
written.
far too intelligent for something I would have
I
come
know.
up.
Maybe that happened during no, it wasn't in the Venetian cell. It was before that. But like
Well,
that's
I think it's that there's important messages for kids, aren't there, that you
but
can
even
get.
for adults, David, I think, because
Hmm.
sometimes us adults sit there and go, no, I'm not going to chase my dream because I'm worried about what someone else thinks about me. And that
Mm.
other
I
person
think
shouldn't.
people are paralyzed by the specter of failure. I mean, people come up to me, you know, when I'm walking my dogs and saying, "Oh, I'd like to write a children's book," you know, and they think there's some sort of secret. You know, what's the secret? And you go, I said, really, you just have to sort of plan it out in your head and then start writing. You know, well, where do you start writing? Well, with the first sentence. I mean, I'm not trying to be glib, but
No,
it's like it's the doing of it that makes you, you know, that makes you better at it. And so if you never do it, if you never try, if you're too afraid of failure, then it's not going to work out. I mean, when you're trying to make people laugh, there's a big chance of failure, a really big chance of failure. And it's very, if a drama is undramatic, if that's a word, if a drama is not very dramatic, it's like, that was a bit, you know, a bit disappointing. But if a comedy isn't funny, it's like it has no value whatsoever, does it? I mean, it
yeah.
actually makes you quite angry when someone's trying to make you laugh and they're failing. You know, it actually,
Yeah.
you start to get really, I don't know, it gets under your skin, doesn't it? And so I know what that feeling feels like. But
Well,
I'm saying is, you know, part of the journey of success is failure. And if you're not scared of failure, then you're probably, you know, gonna, you know, you're gonna get closer to where you want to be.
I love that. And do you know what? I could talk to you forever, but you need to get on with your day. So thank you so
Well, you'll
much.
be surprised, you know, I'm just going to lie in a darkened room for the next 12 hours. But no, thank
Play with
you.
your
Thank you
puppies.
so much. Yeah, they're here actually, and I'm actually with my son, but he's with his friends at the playground at the
Are
moment.
they
So,
unfazed by what you do? Are they just like, yeah, that's what dad does?
well, there's only one. The dogs don't
Him and
have an
his
opinion
friends.
on.
No, him and his
There's only
friends.
no, not yeah, I know, but I think once you spend 5 minutes talking to somebody, you just,
Yeah.
I mean, son not because obviously he's known me, but. But yeah, I mean, I notice it sometimes when I go to his school and stuff. There's people that you can see the other kids are kind of like, oh, look, it's him. But, you know, you don't, I mean, sometimes I play up to it a little, lean into it a little bit to sort of
Yeah.
entertain people, you know, if I meet them, because I think that I want them to go away thinking, oh, he was quite funny rather than he was grumpy or something like that. So, but most of the time, you know, when I'm with my son or his friends, I'm just dad.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? I'm going to let you get back to being dad because
Okay.
I will keep asking questions. So I need to
Okay.
stop
All right.
myself.
All
David,
right.
it's been such a pleasure. We cannot wait to see
Pleasure.
awful
Oh, well,
Auntie.
thank you.
And enjoy your time in Australia, especially if you're going to Melbourne.
Of course, I'm going to Melbourne. Love it.
Oh, enjoy. Say hi for me.
Okay. Thank you
See you,
for your
David.